that are married or those who are dating, and we're just excited to be able to celebrate a love here today. But I wanted to do something a little unique, and that is I want to give away a couple of gifts here today for a couple of couples. And so I want to know if you have been married less than 2 years. You want to stand up, okay? Just kind of stand up if you've been married less than 2 years, okay? I just want to see if there's any couples here. Okay, okay, awesome, okay. Oh, there's going to be a fight. Okay, there's going to be a fight. Okay, so if you've been married less than a year, stay standing. If you've been married less than a year. Okay, but that's awesome. Okay, so, we're down to dates here. Okay, so when were you guys married? May? When were you guys married? In June, they beat you by a month. Oh, okay. Here, Raiden, just as a consolation prize, could you bring that over to them? That would be great. Okay. Thank you so much. That's great. So, yeah, so thank you. No, yeah. All right, that's awesome. Well, then we want to celebrate the newlyweds. That's awesome for being married, and great. Thank you so much. That was troubling see, that's humility right there. That's humility. Raiden, don't go far. I may need your help for a second. Okay, so I'm not going to ask them to stand because I want to be able to recognize marriages that have been married a long, long time. So I want to know, I'm going to set the bar pretty high. So just by a raising of hands, how many couples you've been married for over 40 years? Just raise your hands if you've been married over 40 years. Okay, I see hands. Okay, wow, we've got couples here. Okay, we're going to start. Okay, 45 years, keep your hand up. Okay, 50 years. If you've hit 50 years, keep your hands up. Wow. Oh, my goodness. That's great. Okay, let's go 55 years. 55. Okay, there's still one more hand here. Is that the only hand up, or do I see two? Okay, what's that? Two. Where's the other hands? Okay, back there. Okay, so how many years have you been married? 58? Okay, can we just celebrate that? 58 years? Wow. And then in Summers, how long you been married? How long you been married? Yeah, how long you been married? 63 years. Oh, I love that. I love it. Here, Raiden, give that over to them to celebrate that. That's awesome. I was talking to them earlier. 63 years. I got thinking, Carrie and I have been married 28 years, and that's not even halfway to that point. And so they're doing something. And I talked to them earlier, and it was interesting. I asked them what do you have to do? And both of them said you have to find the right person. That's what they said. They have to find the right person. But then Joe also gave me some wisdom. He said that when you get married, really every wedding, funerals. It's the husband and the wife both dying to themselves and then joining up to be one. I was like, oh, that's a good word. And so I want to be able, why should I just hold on to that and try and get the credit for it? But that's awesome. Well, anyways, Carrie and I, we went away this weekend to Vancouver. I know for you, you're going, that's an hour away. But hey, we're from Ontario, and so we're starting to get to know all this stuff. And so we went there. We celebrated 31 anniversaries in a row, and so I'm excited about that. I want to tell you, as much as I love Vancouver, the problem with Vancouver is there's basically only one way in, one way out kind of thing, right? When you're trying to get around. And so there was apparently a car on fire, and so we got rerouted, and we were taking all these back roads. Thank God for Google. But we were taking the most weird roads, and you almost trust because no one else is taking the roads with you, so you're worrying that you're actually going to get back in time. But we actually, I'm here, so we got back. But I'll tell you that over 31 Valentine's, I can tell you that our marriage looks a lot different than it did at the very beginning. I remember our very first Valentine's Day. I'm not going to tell the story, Carrie, about that, but I remember our very first Valentine's Day because we were dating, and I wanted to get that hook right in there. You know what I mean? It's like you want to grab that because you're like, I'm really going to lose out on this if I don't really try to show up on that. And so but there are a lot of years. There's some Valentines that we have some memories of. Some of them are blurs, but we've not missed one Valentine's Day together. Our love has changed over those 31 years, and just like I guess everyone's love changes over the years, I feel like it's almost like we go from lean and mean to love handles, you know, and COVID especially with love handles. Oh my goodness, it's been hard to try and keep from eating in that. And actually, you know what? Today's message, I want to call it love handles. So in notes, I want you to write down love handles. That's what the message is going to be called today, love handles. And so you can put you can put that down there. We're doing this series called Redeeming Love. We're redeeming love. That's what we're doing. And so I think that love has been tainted and it has been torn apart, but we're taking time over February to redeem it to what God intended love to be. Now, the Greeks, they had so many different ways to express the word love. English, other languages, we may just use the word love, but we talked about that last week, that there's different ways that the Greeks would express love. And so it was beautiful that the timing of Jesus' coming was at an era when the Greek language was being communicated. So that way we could understand love from different perspectives here. And so last week we talked about agape, which is about the not the love of God, but how God expresses selfless love, and it helps us understand his love for us, which is selfless and willing to give to others. You can watch that online there. But today I want to actually hit 3 words that have to do with the word love. Now, I want to tell you, I said last week that this message was going to be G-rated. I think I'm going to promote that or demote that to PG-rated, which just basically means pretty G-rated. Okay, so that's probably what's going to happen today because we're talking about love. The way I look at it is I should expect you to not worry about anything that I say here today because I have to answer for it, right? But at the same time, God did create love, and I want to be honest about that. So just we're going to walk through this. So I'm going to take a moment here, and let's just pray. So God, I want to thank you for love. I thank you for marriage. I thank you for the people you put in our lives. I thank you, God, for the people that have yet to be put in people's lives, Lord. I thank you that every relationship, God, is an opportunity, whether it is romantic or not, but it's an opportunity to example you and show you, Lord. So God, help us, God, to be able to speak about this and redeem love in relationships today in your name. Amen. Amen. So here's the issue, is that we're going to be dealing with 3 words when it comes to love today. But I think that when you hear these 3 words, you'll understand and maybe make the misconception. So I want to say this from the get-go, that I believe it is a misconception. These 3 words are not to be 3 phases of love. They're not to be 3 phases of love. They're to be 3 facets of love. It is going to be my challenge to each and every one of us today. In our relationships with those that we have in marriage or in dating, that those relationships honor the 3 facets of love. So we talked about agape last week, but this word here is Lidus. Okay, everyone at the count of 3 with conviction, because you know exactly what it means. Say the word Lidus. 1, 2, 3, Lidus. Okay, it's. I know, like right now you're going, that I have no idea, but this way at least you'll remember it. Lidus actually means to flirt. It's to flirt. It's kind of like playing hide and go seek with somebody else. You know, you kind of get there, okay, count to 10, I'm going to go hide. And then you go hide and you wait for them to come and find you. And if they don't find you, maybe go play it with someone else, okay? Because they just have given up on you, right? And you say, okay, that obviously didn't work there. It's like playing tag with somebody else, and so when you go play tag with somebody, it's either you say you're it, or if they don't care, then you're the idiot, okay? That's the difference between the two there, right? I told Carrie this morning that I was going to share some stories about us, but again, I want to make sure that I honor our relationship. But I want to tell you something about our marriage, that almost 30 years in, we still play tag. It's the weirdest thing. Like, it would be like something where I would just kind of walk by Carrie, and I just kind of like, hit the back of her head, just like, hi, and she'd hit me back, and it's on. And our kids, they would run to their rooms because it did not matter. We would deal with whatever broke, and we would deal with whatever we had to replace later. It was on, folks. And that whole house would turn into just an entire jungle gym, and we would run all the way. And it was so weird, but it was just the other day. I'm just telling you, because it's not that we play it on the daily, okay? It's not like every day, like, it's tag time, yay! Or it's not that. But I just walked by her the other day, and I tapped her, and tap. Oh, here we go again, right? It's just this fun, comical, lighthearted way. It's like gambling, but you don't have to spend any money. Do you win? Do you not? You know what? That's what flirting is. It's like, shooting something across the bow. Are they going to notice it? Are they not going to notice it? It's getting a feel for someone else's thoughts. It's a way of kind of saying, hey, I'm kind of interested. And then the other person to say, hey, I'm not. or maybe I am interested, right? It's this way of just kind of sparking things up to see if it's going to work or not. Let me tell you somebody that was a huge flirt in the Bible. King Solomon. Oh, my goodness. Let me just tell you now, if you're dating, do not do that as devotions. I'm just telling you that right now. No, ixnay, go to Leviticus, go to Numbers, go to something, something like that. You know what I mean? Oh, there's 42,000 people in that tribe. Yay. Go to that stuff, okay? But no. Like King Solomon, man, he was a big flirt. No, he was. Personally, one of the things about flirting is that you kind of figure out what works and you figure out what doesn't, right? And you just hope you don't land the doesn't too many times. I think one of the very first things I did, I'm not going to say it, but one of the very first things I did to Carrie, to flirt with her, bombed. Honestly, I thought I lost. I thought she is never going to speak to me again. I said this cute little comment to her, and her look to me said, that was not a cute little comment. And I was like, I will never say that again. And I've only said it a few times since. But anyways, it was a way of just trying it out, right? But Solomon, he had some hits and misses. And this was one, I looked up, here's some of Solomon's pickup lines, okay? I liken you, my darling, to a mare harnessed to one of the chariots of Pharaoh. Wow, if that does not woo a woman. And just so you know, the woman was Pharaoh's daughter. Oh, yeah, it's great. Yeah, you liken not to being the daughter of Pharaoh, but to one of his horses. Okay, that's good. Okay. Here's another one. Compared to other women, my beloved is like a lily among thorns. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Your hair falls like waves, like flocks of goats frisking across the slopes of Gilead. That's going to be in a Hallmark card, I'm sure of it. Oh, this is a good one. Your lips drop sweetness as the honeycomb. Yeah, I can just hear some Barry McKnight in the background, or Brian McKnight playing in the background. Okay, here's this. This one, should have thought about this one. Your teeth are like a flock of sheep, just shorn. Wow. Basically, I got thinking about it. Is that like meaning all the plaque is off? I'm not really sure, but coming up from washing. Oh, each one has its twin. Not one of them is left alone. Wow! Isn't that nice? Basically, you've got all your teeth. Okay. Here's a good one. You are tall and slim like a palm tree. Whew. But I think he kind of stepped over the line here because he wasn't married yet, and he wrote, I will climb up into the palm tree and take hold of your branch. Whoa, okay, whoa. We're stopping. See what I mean? It's not, whoa, okay, whoa. This is the Bible. God ordained that? Yeah, he did. Because love matters. Love matters. And so here we go to the second word. So we've got Lidus. The second word, I won't get us all to repeat it. Pretty sure we figured it out. It's eros. Eros. It's where in the English language we get the word erotic. But I want to tell you right now, the word is not the way you think it means. It's not the way. See, we have, I believe, and this is what the enemy loves to do, he loves to take what is pure and to pervert it. And so with the whole idea of anything being erotic, well, we know now that is like, that's behind the door. That's stuff you don't want to see. That's the stuff that's on the websites that you don't want to, like, that's where, but the word was actually the word was to express love. It's sexual, but it's not sex. It's sexual in nature here. And I want to say this, and this is, again, I told you it's going to be pretty G. Just understand this, please. When it comes to relationships, whether you are dating, and this is very important for people who are dating, you need to hear this word. And very important for people who are married because you may have forgotten this word or you may not know this word. Eros does not mean pleasure. It means pleasing. I want to say that again. It's not about pleasure. It's about pleasing. See, sex in its right context is supposed to be not about you. It's not to be selfish. It's supposed to be selfless. And it's supposed to be about the other person. But let me just tell you something. When both people are selfless, okay, we'll just move on from there, okay? Because now they figured it out. Now they figured it out as a couple. But you see, this is why God created marriage to have that sex was supposed to happen after marriage. See, we live in a culture now that says, we'll try it out. No, you know what? I got my Jeep when I bought it. No one else had driven it. Hallelujah. I got a brand new Jeep, and I'm thankful for that. Now you're saying, you liken it to a Jeep? No, I just know that I don't have to worry about whose cigarette stains there or who put that there or whatever. No. God created sex to be something intimate between two people, and it was supposed to be after marriage. And this is why I make all of these points to say this. I have said this in every one of my pre-marriage counseling sessions. And I have yet to be argued down to the point that if somebody online or somebody in this room can prove me wrong, I will gladly get up next Sunday and apologize for all of these years that I've given bad advice. But you can never, in my opinion, ever prove to me that sex before marriage is not selfish. If sex is supposed to be selfless and sex before marriage cannot be selfless. Now somebody say, oh no, it's me showing love, No, you're insecure. You're worried you're going to lose the person if you don't do something about it. You say, oh, no, it's a way of expressing love. No, it's a way for you to get excited. It's a way for you to deal with your own lust. It's a way for you to deal with your own issues, your own troubles, your own trauma, your own whatever. But I tell you now, if you are not married, then it will always be selfish. Because I've had people say, oh, no, I'm giving my all to somebody. Are you going to get married? No. Well, you're not giving your all. You're not giving your all. Well, I'm not sure if I want to live with that person for the rest of my life. Good. Figure it out. But don't damage them. Don't damage them. Don't let your issues become someone else's problem later on. And so, it's like, we don't really hear that nowadays, and I don't really feel like I have to, slam that down because, you know what, it's just in the Bible. So I'll just let God kind of deal with it there, right? So it's just the way it is. I love the fact that in this Song of Songs, this poem that Solomon crafted between him and his fiancée, and there was this dialogue between the two of them here. She said this in chapter 2, verse 7. She said, young women of Jerusalem, I charge you by the gazelles and the wild does of the field, which I guess means important. Do not stir up or awaken love until the appropriate time. Do not stir up or awaken love until the appropriate time. You know what that says to me? If we're not supposed to do it until the appropriate time, then there's an inappropriate time. It means there's an inappropriate time for that. And so it's saying that do not stir it up. You stir it up, oh my goodness. That's like saying to somebody, oh, you know what, just kind of go down the hill on your skis and then stop really fast. You're not. You're going to turn into a snowball and basically take out 20 other skiers along the way. No. Once you get that thing going, don't even stir it up or awaken love. No. Don't do that there. See, I believe that it's for us there. And when it gets awakened, it gets awoken. Okay, that you want to be woke in this generation? Yeah, get married. You'll get woke. Okay, like I remember when I got married, and I've told this story already, but like I saw Carrie. It was kind of similar to this sort of a setup. It was dark in here. The doors opened up, and it was all like the lobby was all lit up with the sky, and I just saw the silhouette of Carrie. I started hyperventilating. I was like, oh, and my best man, he was like, I think he's going to pass out. And I was like, I think I'm going to pass out. I just and he turned to me and he says, do you hear the trumpets of Jesus? And I was like, no, Jesus, no, not today. No, tomorrow, fine. No. There's something stirring up. There's a waking going on. No, not today. That's right. Yeah. My wife just said, oh, my word. And you wonder why we take 2 vehicles to church in the morning. No, I'm just telling you, though. There's an appropriate time, there's an inappropriate time. And if you don't care if Jesus is in the room or not, it's the appropriate time. Because Jesus is there anyways. If you got Christ in your life, he's there anyways. So why subject him to all that? Oh, that wasn't in my notes. I told people this morning, I told the production crew, I need to stick to my notes. See, people use sex for all sorts of reasons, but I believe, personally, that God uses it to realign a husband and wife, to bring them back into focusing on one another and just remembering one another, to get us ready for the third phase of love. The third phase of love. We've had ludus, and we've had also the word eros. But then there's another word that's going to seem strange, because as soon as I say it, I think you're going to go, okay, I know what that word means. Really? That's a word for love? Yes. It's called pragma. Just like pragmatic, pragma. In ancient cultures, they would have pragma love. Arranged marriages, so to speak. They were marriages that they made sense. It was like, okay, well, we're going to mutually benefit from this, and there'd be this covenant. These 2 people would come together, and there'd be this merging. It would be like this contract and this commitment between 2 people. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, oh, that's what parents should do nowadays. No, some parents would feel like that. Like, okay, I'm going to leave my kids until they're 20 before I let them marry anybody, and I'm going to choose the person for them. Like, that's fine. But that's not what I'm getting at here. What I'm talking about is that in the Greek culture, they understood that there was something that comes from a long-term relationship. There's something that, I'm excited for Ty and Alicia. Believe me, I'm excited. I remember what it was like the first year. That's awesome. I'm happy for Kirsten and Raiden as well. I don't know what it's like to be Joe and Ruth Summer, but I can't wait to reach it. I can't wait to see what it's like to be pragma loved for 63 years. To say every day, I choose you. It was a mutual commitment to make it work. It was a way to make an agreement to find love. To choose to find love. It's an agreement to find love. I'm telling you, in marriage, it's not about loving one another. It's also about choosing to love one another. It's also about choosing to find the ways to love one another. Because each person, doesn't matter are a couple or not, each person loves to be loved different ways. And we could talk about that some other time, but that's not what I'm going to talk about right now. But their bond, their relationship served a greater purpose. I got thinking about that. There's a very, very well-known verse in Matthew chapter 18 that I'm going to turn to it right now. Here, I want to find it here. Matthew 18. If you have your Bibles, just turn with me here. I think I highlighted it here. Yeah, Matthew 18, verse 19. You want to hear about pragma love? It's right here. If two of you on earth agree about any matter that you pray for, it will be done for you by my Father in heaven. If two of you pragma, if you make that mutual commitment, we are going to agree to this. Friends, you know why marriages fall apart? Is because they're not pragma-ing. They're so fixated on the lewding, they're so fixated on the eros, that they don't understand that there's a commitment to make it last. There's a commitment to keep it going. So I want to tell you, I'm not here to judge marriages. I'm not even here to judge those who've been divorced. That's not what I'm getting at. Because you know what? I've seen some really lousy marriages. And I've seen some really amazing, amicable divorces. I'm not here to talk about anything that has to do with the past. I haven't walked in your shoes. I don't know anything that you're going through. But let me be very clear, is this, that every single day, I decide to make Carrie my one and only. And every single day, I believe Carrie's doing the same. Well, to be honest with you, I actually know that she's doing the same, because I told her when we were dating, I said, I'm going to have to be a guy to understand that there's going to be other guys that like you, other guys that think you're pretty, other guys that are going to try and get your attention. I've had to deal with that over the years, and that's okay, because I know Carrie, and not for a moment would I not trust her, because I have seen in her pragma love. I've seen in her that commitment, and it just amazes me that I am worth that much to her. It really does. It's funny, when Carrie and I got married, I remember one of the vows I said was forsaking all others. It's meaning to putting the blinders on everything. And I want to speak very clearly to some people here today. Maybe, I don't know why I felt this in my heart. I took it out of my notes. I just felt the Spirit of God say, no, you got to say it. That if there are people who are in covenant marriage with other people, if you've committed yourself to that person, it really should be impossible for you to find somebody else. Because you can't be committed to somebody and open to someone else. And so if you are in that situation, or if you've struggled with that, or you've thought about that, a commitment is a commitment. And I'm thankful for the commitment that Carrie and I made years ago. And I want to live the rest of my life honoring that commitment. And so that means forsaking all others. It's an interesting word, forsaking all others, because we actually see something similar in Genesis chapter 2, verse 24, where we talk about the fact that a man will leave his mother and father and will bond with the woman in her family. So pretty. Bond. I'm bonding with my wife. What are you doing? I'm bonding. The word isn't bond. The word is to cling. It's actually to cling. I looked up one version of it, and it actually means to fasten your grip. So it's not only just to cling, but it's to make this conscious decision to hold on for dear life. Hold on. That, my friends, is marriage. Because I wish this is the one day I decided to use a microphone, and it probably shouldn't have been. But if I hold with both hands, I know the video people right now are having a heyday. If I hold on with both hands, I can't grab anything else. I can't. So I fasten my grip. Friends, that's what marriage is supposed to be. It's to be fastening our grip. So that's why, my friends, I believe in Galatians chapter 5, verse 16 and 19, it says, I say then, walk by the Spirit, and you will certainly not carry out the desire of the flesh. Now, the works of the flesh are obvious. And what does Paul say? Sexual immorality, moral impurity, promiscuity. Paul says that what happens is that the flesh puts it in the wrong order. See, the chief end is not eros to pragma. No. The chief end is supposed to be that pragma to eros, that commitment, we're going to do this. And then the eros is the selfless love expression to one another that stems from you looting one another and saying, hey, and you get their attention, you woo them. But here's the problem. We have too many boyfriends and girlfriends that are turning into husbands and wives who stop being boyfriends and girlfriends. Do you know how I got Carrie to marry me? It had to do with a hammer and that wasn't it. But whatever I did to get her attention, it would be foolish of me to stop. Because that's what got her attention and made her trust me. And wives, the same thing. I remember, I'm not going to get into the whole story, it takes too long. But Carrie said to me one day, I'm a really good girlfriend. I was like, yeah, this is when we were married. She goes, I'm going to keep being your girlfriend. And I looked at her and I said, bring it. There's something that happens, friends, when you remember. See, doesn't it say in Proverbs, do not forget the woman of your youth? We lose sight of what we gained. See, eros isn't just about an act. It's instead a decision to be selfless. Pragma is the decision to keep the decision. And lewd is to keep it fresh, to keep playing tag even 30 years into the marriage. You know, I started this message talking about being in Vancouver and that we had to come home a different way. A lot of you don't know this, but sometimes Carrie, after church, she'll just say, get in the Jeep and she'll say, just drive somewhere new. Just drive. Let's go for a drive. Let's see something new. I understand what that means to her. I also understand what it means in a marriage. Because it's easy to take the same way home every time. That's the quickest way. It's the easiest way. It's the least amount of turns. We won't hit traffic. We won't see your parents or your mother-in-law. Like, you know what I mean? Like we, in marriage, we can fall into the same trap. But what if you just kind of get off the road? Take a different road. Make something fresh. Make it new. Find a creative way to express that selfless love to one another. Maybe you need to go home today and play tag. Maybe some of you are afraid I'll throw a hip. I don't know. But there's things you can do. I want to make sure that all of the marriages and relationships in our church are fresh, are godly, are selfless expressions of love. So I'm going to ask us all to stand today. You may be married, you may not be married. It doesn't really matter.